Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Julie Fisk, podcast producer for the Dallas Morning News, and get ready for the meat sweats, because this week, it's all about barbecue. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you, whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable. No place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com with any thoughts or suggestions. As usual, today I'm joined by our food writers, Sarah Blaskovich, Zakaria Washington, and Imelda Garcia. Now, Sarah, you wrote your very first list of the best barbecue spots in DFW. Girl, you've been talking about barbecue for years. Is this really your first list?
So it is. I have over a decade of opinions on where we should be eating barbecue, and traveling around the state and eating brisket is a family pastime that sort of naturally fits into my job as a food reporter at the Dallas Morning News, of course. But you're right. We finally came out and made my list of 15 favorite barbecue joints in North Texas. I've eaten at all of these places lots of times, and I've been studying the craft for quite a while.
So you pick 15 barbecue joints and explain in this piece why each one of them is great. Do you have a favorite? Am I even allowed to ask that?
You're always allowed to ask anything you want, Julie. No, I don't have a favorite. And I think about food across DFW sort of maybe like a teacher would think about a class, which is that it is so hard to pick the number one favorite of anything, in my opinion, because it depends on what we're doing, right? Are your kids with you? Do you have $1 million to spend on barbecue, or are you looking for the blue plate special? Are you willing to drive an hour? Are you willing to wait in 2 hours of a line after you drove an hour, right? Like, there are so many different factors in barbecue, and this list kind of covers the gamut. Now, what I will say is I'll pick a couple that I think are especially noteworthy. So if anybody is willing to take a drive, my number one spot for the drive is Dane's in Aledo, Texas.
How far is that?
Over an hour, depending on where you live in Dallas proper. Those who don't live in Dallas, maybe even farther. It is west of Fort Worth. And the story of Dane's is that he had been looking for a spot for a long time. And in fact, Dane himself had a location in Fort Worth, and then Taylor Sheridan and his film crew ended up using that property like for film shoots. And so he went looking for a new place to put his barbecue joint. Like, this really happened.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Now, Dane's found a better place, in my opinion. He set up his restaurant in a place that now looks like a saloon, but it's this old building, and there's a train that goes by at lunchtime and like toots, like the movie version of a barbecue joint. It's so darling. And Dane's makes excellent food across the board. Something I particularly love is his cheeseburger made with like brisket bits.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, right. I don't think that's the technical term, but that's what we're going to call it.
But we get it.
Right. The other cool thing about Dane's is that there is actually a bar in this restaurant. You'll find many barbecue places that maybe hand out free beer or you can bring your own drinks, but some of them don't do alcohol at all. And Dane's has a bar as well. But I like him. And, his story is that he and his wife worked hard at not high paying jobs for a really long time. And he quit to open a barbecue food truck. And now he has this restaurant that I think is certainly one of the best in North Texas and possibly one of the best in the whole state.
It sounds that it's not only like the barbecue, it's like an experience, you know?
Exactly that. And if you're looking for the postcard barbecue place, Dane's feels like it's it. Then let's go over to Dallas proper. Loro, which is a restaurant many of you know and is not straight ahead barbecue. Loro is what they call an Asian smokehouse, and it is the Uchi founder plus Aaron Franklin. So the Uchi founder, the Japanese restaurant, and Aaron Franklin of Franklin Barbecue. And they put those Asian sensibilities and some low and slow barbecue techniques together, and they have this really cool menu. Now, Loro, many would argue doesn't belong on a list like this, but I make the argument that barbecue can be a lot of things. And some people are tired of the Texas trendy, which is brisket, ribs, and sausage. Loro has some of that, but then they have so many other really interesting menu items that do all and more.
That's one of my favorite places. I go there all the time and I have never had their barbecue. I always intend to, but it's that curry chicken dish that's so crazy good. With the pickles.
And they have a deal. I'm reading right here that if you go from 2 to 6 p.m., you are going to eat for a very fair price.
$6 for
Wow,
a single
that's-
patty smash burger.
Wow.
And it's a darn good smash burger too. So that's Loro. If you want something in town and just really not the quintessential Texas barbecue experience, but a beautiful representation of what barbecue and this Uchi influence could be. In the Dallas Design District, you've got to go to Slow Bone if you haven't been before.
I love Slow Bone.
I love it too, and the name makes me giggle every time.
They did that on purpose.
I know, and it works every time. Slow Bone has great barbecue, just as you would expect it to be, but Slow Bone has so much more than just your traditional stuff. So the Brussels sprouts side with toasted panko is delicious. The squash casserole is really good. But then also they do all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like on Wednesdays, there's a smoked mushroom pasta.
Ooh.
Right? So tell your vegetarian friend. One other fun thing about Slow Bone is that it was featured in 2025 on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And when that happened, I was like, how is it possible that Slow Bone has never been on this television show? It feels like it was made for that TV show.
You got one more, Sarah.
Yes. If you want to take a drive east of Dallas to the little town of Fate, which is east of Rockwall, I like Smoketown Barbecue. So this is a food truck that's parked in a gravel parking lot. And a lot of Texas's best barbecue is served this way, like, out a concession window at a thing that's been parked someplace. Smoketown is new-ish, but the owner, Cameron Haley, does some pretty interesting stuff. Depending on the day, you might find different food there, but he's been doing boudin balls. There were pineapple habanero pork tacos recently. They even did pork belly burnt end flights.
Wow.
Which had different sauces on them. So, if you think that eating from a truck is basic, come to Smoketown in the little bitty town of Fate, and you will learn that there's a lot that can be done in that small place.
And it's not spelled like smoke, like typical. So if you're Googling this.
Yeah, good point. SMOAK.
Okay.
I love it.
It's a copy editor's nightmare, but it's sort of cute once you can see it.
Yes.
Zakaria, I think you also helped with going to take some video.
Yeah, I sure did. And it was a great experience. So I went to Cadillac's, Terry Black's, in the original Roy Hutchins barbecue. And here's what I found to be interesting about each one. So let's start with Cadillac's. I made it there around like 10:45 in the morning, like on a Friday, and there was already a line outside. I was like, oh my gosh. And it slowly began to grow before it was already wrapped around the building by the time I left.
Wow.
It's a smaller venue, so it makes sense for the line to be so long. Plus, they only stay open, I think, like 4 hours each day. But one thing I found interesting is that they had Wagyu beef and bologna options. So that was super cool, and it was really, really yummy.
I love that place.
Your pictures were amazing. I wanted that bologna so bad.
It was good, y'all. Next, I went to the original Roy Hutchins. This was interesting because of how large and robust their smoke room was. There were several smokers, ovens, and grills. And then they took me to the cold room where all the meat was being prepped. Talk about a jolting experience. I went from going to a super hot room to like a super cold room, and I kept sneezing and there was smoke in my eyes. But it was such a great experience and I really enjoyed it.
I love the Texas Twinkies.
I was going to
They're
mention
amazing.
that. Oh my goodness. So it's basically a smoked jalapeno pepper that is stuffed with brisket and cream cheese, and it's wrapped with bacon.
It's a must.
It's also funny that they're not dessert at all.
Yeah.
No,
Right?
it's not. It's just called that.
Anybody listening who's picturing a Twinkie? This one's wrapped in bacon, y'all.
And lastly, I went to Terry Black's, which is a classic. I've been here several times. I love Terry Black's because they do all of their meat cutting right in front of customers. It's like a very high action moment. I love that every time I go.
Y'all, this conversation is so on time because as World Cup fans travel to Dallas, they are undoubtedly going to be eating barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And I also wrote a list of iconic foods that you will find in Dallas. And brisket is, of course, in that list. Sarah, what's the deal with that?
Right. Why are we eating so much brisket? There are a lot of great things to eat at a barbecue joint, but you're so right, Imelda, that if anyone visiting Texas for the first time is looking to do barbecue the right way, the number one thing and the number 2 and number 3 thing to order is moist brisket.
I want to highlight that word. Ask for the moist brisket.
Is that fatty?
It is fatty. And so each brisket is going to have parts of it that are lean and parts of it that are fatty. But those fatty parts are better. And, forget about like calories for a second here. That's not what we're doing. We're just trying to eat the best thing.
Mm-hmm. Fat is flavor.
That's exactly it. So the Texas way is that brisket is coated in salt and pepper and usually not much else. This is a little bit special to Texas. A few barbecue joints get crazy and add garlic, salt, or other spices, but most stick to that salt and pepper rub only. Many use yellow mustard to get the rub to stick to the meat.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that at the original Roy Hutchins.
It makes sense, and it's very messy. Now that you were like back in the Baxicary, you could see people with gloves on with yellow stuff all over their hands, literally slathering, because a big brisket's like, you hold that thing in 2 hands, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the mustard itself does not impart a ton of flavor, so that's not its job. It's really just a craft project. It's nature's glue stick. So the brisket is then cooked low and slow. And pitmasters like to say that you can calculate about an hour in the smoker per 1 pound of brisket. So they buy a 12-pound brisket. It might cook for 12-ish hours, give or take a little bit of time. The thing our friends visiting Dallas should remember is that every brisket takes something like 24 hours by the time it reaches your plate. So here's what we're doing. We trim the briskets. We slather it in mustard if that place is doing it. We add the rub. You smoke the briskets for, half a day, perhaps. And then a really important part, those briskets have to rest before they are sliced and given to you. So that's a lot of babysitting for one piece of meat and helps explain why barbecue is a little bit pricey.
And I know there are apparently rules for how you eat the brisket, right?
That's right. And rules are made to be broken. So take this for what it's worth. But as established, I think we should order the fatty brisket. And then don't get your brisket chopped or order it on a sandwich, in my opinion. You want a naked piece of meat and you want to pick it up with your hands. Mm-hmm. And, years ago, I had the privilege of interviewing Aaron Franklin. And the number one thing I came away with is he said, when your brisket is sliced and put in front of you, you eat that as fast as possible. Every second that it is oxidized or it's been cut away from the meat, it gets a little less good. Like every second. And so every time I order brisket, I think of this so much. Like there is no let's go get a soda from the fountain machine and do we have enough napkins? I'm like, everybody sit down and pick up that meat and eat it. Right? I mean, it's the most beautiful version of itself right then. And I just get very excited.
I just had this mental image of you walking down the line, though, at a place like Slowbone where you've got your tray and everybody's waiting for you to go and you're like, just eating.
Well, my kids' first bite of barbecue was brisket, of course. And I'll never forget because I make everybody sit down and eat pretty quickly. You pick it up with your hands, just like your cavemen and cavewomen, and you pull it apart and then we just start handing it out. Right? Like everybody's reaching in, like that quintessential picture of a bunch of hands in the middle of the red tray, just reaching for the food. I'll never forget my little ones, sitting next to me. I'm just giving them peppery pieces of brisket. Here you go. Here you go. Couple bites for mom, couple bites for you. And this is how people should eat brisket, in my opinion. It's quick, it's exciting. There's this sort of lovely communal moment. Get napkins, sure, but leave the forks out of it.
You're not going to get that smell off your hands, though. I'm sorry, you're really not.
No, and I was thinking of Zakaria when she was talking about Roy Hutchins. You're not going to get the smell out of your hair for a minute either.
Barbecue all day for 2 days straight.
Totally.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
I was thinking about that. Does Aaron Franklin ever not smell like barbecue? Ever?
Probably not. I just think it becomes like a musk.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, there's one more rule that I think Zakaria is probably asking about, and that's whether to put sauce on your brisket. And this is people's choice, but I say try it first. So just like you tell your kids they have to eat the broccoli, and then if they want, you can put cheese on it or whatever. Brisket, unlike broccoli, is perfect on its own, in my opinion. But a great restaurant makes a great homemade sauce, so I don't think it's a problem for anybody who wants to try the sauce. I just ask, take that bite first. Mm-hmm. Get that peppery, salty, fatty taste. And then if you want more, The barbecue sauce will add some sweetness and some tang.
See, I was always taught good barbecue is good without the sauce. You don't need the sauce. And if you need the sauce, that's a problem.
Well, you might be putting sauce on lean brisket that's dry. So first of all, let's not eat dry brisket. Let's just not do that. There's too much good brisket in the world. We have a list of 15 places, y'all. But also, try it first.
Yes.
Just like let the pit masters do their thing, and then you can go from there.
And Sarah, I heard that now some barbecue joints are doing these Mexican salsas. I mean, my mom is going to be so excited about this because I don't know if you remember, but my mom always carries some chile serrano in her purse.
Yes, I was just talking to Joe Zavala the other day of Zavala's Barbecue in Grand Prairie. Fun fact, he is open 30 days from mid-June until mid-July, all because of World Cup. He's like 5 or 6 miles from Dallas Stadium, which is the stadium in Arlington. And in order to capitalize on the potential traffic there, he was usually open 4 days a week for lunch only, but he will be open 7 days a week for 30 days straight. And if you go there, you will find beautiful tortillas and the aforementioned delicious brisket. But Joe loves the brisket in the tortillas with his homemade salsa verde. And I think any traveler to Texas really should try that.
So there it is. There's a field trip for everyone. You absolutely should go find the story at dallasnews.com/food. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll hear how some young people are turning barbecue into a class project.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Coming up, we'll hear about some pit master kids who are making a splash in the barbecue world. But first, a quick reminder that you can always reach out to the Dallas Morning News food team at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. And have you left a nice review for us yet? Because we really need you to do that. We are suckers for flattery.
And don't forget your 5 stars, please.
5 stars.
5
absolutely.
stars. Guys, I wrote this story some days ago about a thing that I didn't know even exists in Texas. I'm new here. There's a high school barbecue competition.
Wow.
Like with the schools.
Yeah. It's like the Olympics of barbecue. It's amazing.
I'm intrigued.
Guys, think about this. How many teenagers spend their days like playing video games, and scrolling through social media? Well, there's a bunch of teenagers that spend their days trying to find the best barbecue recipe. And they compete.
These kids are going to be so popular in college.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
They go off to school and they're like, hey, does anybody want to hang out and drink beer and eat brisket? Like, yeah.
So these teenagers are from South Lake Carroll High School. So this team is called OG Barbecue, and they were crowned state champions of the barbecue competition. So there were 90 schools from all over the state competing in that competition. So the name of the competition is the 2026 Texas High School Barbecue State Championship.
What were they making? What were they cooking, Imelda?
So this team included 5 people. Preston Inoue, he is the brisket master. Kaden Robertson is the ribs expert. Ryan Boo is the chicken pro. Darian Coway is the dessert creator. And Cruz Paredes is the beans specialist. So it's a 5-member team, and each one of them cooks a different thing.
This is like being an athlete.
Yeah,
It's like that guy does desserts. This one does the brisket.
And you know what is amazing about these kids? They are not only in the barbecue team, they were in the robotics team. They were in the band.
Multifaceted.
Yeah, they are making the most of their time in high school.
When you think about barbecue, how early you have to get up, and how time intensive it is. And if you're doing that on top of other class projects, which you're going to have to do before or after school, I mean, that's a lot of work. That's big time commitment.
Yeah, the day of the competition, they got up at 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that. It was crazy.
Well, I'm very proud that these kids are from our region. That just is incredible and speaks to how important barbecue is for the families here. What I want to know is this whole barbecue team high school thing Texas only, or do we do this countrywide?
Well, I'd love to claim it that it's just Texas, but actually there are a lot more like southern states. It looks like Louisiana, Florida, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and New Mexico all compete in this so far. And there's a website called highschoolbarbecueleague.com. And so if you are in a high school or you teach at a high school and you want to start something like this, they encourage you to go through the barbecue league because they have specific rules about the competition, but also specific safety rules. Because think about that. When you have all these young people around these big smokers and the fire and just how they're having to get their hands in there all the time, they have to be really cautious about it. So it isn't just Texas, but I couldn't believe it. When I looked this up, I found a show called Barbecue High. Have y'all ever heard of this?
Well, no.
I have, but I haven't watched it and I want to.
So it's a documentary on HBO of all places.
Wow.
About high school kids who are competing in barbecue competitions in Texas. And they're in like Mansfield, Granbury, Arlington. These are places very near us. I think they filmed this in 23. And I started watching it this weekend. It's really fascinating watching these kids, like just what you said, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going out with their mustard and rubbing down the brisket. Yep. And some of them are treating it like a sport or treating it like an extracurricular, but other kids are committed. So the episode I watched featured Mark Fidel heavily, and he's this young, smart guy. He's a senior. He's been telling his parents he wants to go into electronics. And all of a sudden he's like, I love barbecue. I want to keep doing this. I want to make a career out of this. And they're devastated. Like there's a whole scene where they're fighting in the living room and Mark gets up and stomps out of the room. But he says, I want to be a restaurateur. This is what I want to do with my life. And he actually since then went on to work at Smoke and Ash, Hurtado. And then he opened his own barbecue truck, Habibi Barbecue, which he even mentions on the episode. He already had the name for it and everything. So some of these kids are actually turning it into a career, which is fantastic.
That Habibi Barbecue in Arlington still operates today as a food truck. I want to know how many people go there who watched him on HBO. I mean, television has this incredible way of reaching an audience that many small businesses otherwise could not. And I just love the visual of a youngish kid doing the thing he dreams of doing from a small food truck and people saying, you're a television star.
Yes. And he's good looking too. I was like, I want to take my daughters out here to meet this guy. He's adorable.
And about the show, it sounds like it has drama and romance because, I mean, Habibi is my love, you know?
Yes,
in
that's
Arabic.
right. So it's on HBO if anybody wants to go check it out. And it'll definitely make you crave some barbecue.
This story made me think about my years in high school. And I wasn't that productive, you know? And what about you?
I was not up at 3 o'clock in the morning doing something impressive like this. I think these kids are pretty exceptional.
Yeah, I might have still been up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but not doing that. And that's all the time we have for today. Oh, if you like learning about new restaurants and you want to receive free weekly emails with links to our latest work, go to dallasnews.com/newsletters. Sign up for restaurant news and Eat Drink DFW, 2 e-newsletters that are going to keep you up to date as you make your dinner plans in North Texas. Special thanks to Dallas Morning News Assistant Managing Editor Christopher Wynn, who loves barbecue but hates the meat sweats. For the news, I'm Julie Fisk. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.